this is nimble and just so joyous to drive. So we're back again in the X3M for yet another, I always forget that it does the little grabby thing, which BMW puts it in a lot of the newer cars. It automatically puts the right tension on your seatbelt so that, you don't go flying or dying. And it does all those good things with a nice little embrace, a gentle hug, a gentle squeeze. And the one thing about this X3M is it's absolutely ridiculous. And this one isn't the crazy bright red orange color. It's the more muted blue color, and I feel like this doesn't do the X3M justice. Like, I know that it's a high performance SUV, and if you know what the badge means, you know what to expect when you pull up next to one of these. But I feel like for the most ordinary people, this needs to stand out. It needs to be known that this is an X3M, and it's not just a normal SUV. And if you like the sleeper look, there are hardly any M badges displayed on this actual X3, and really, the rest of it is really, you just got to know. And if you don't know, you don't know until it's time to merge on a highway and you realize this SUV is just immediately pulling away from you, and you're like, what the hell? But this thing, it's fantastic, and I love it. I really do. With this, I feel like you get that nice little grumble, that meaty sound. This thing is just well-rounded, and I don't know how BMW does it. I've got everything in Sport Plus right now. Just kind of enjoying it, just driving it, just getting a feel for what it can do. Even though it is big, it's athletic. It's kind of like LeBron James. I know not everyone's a big LeBron James fan, but this is kind of what I think of. It's just big, and it shouldn't be as athletic as it is, but for some reason it is, and it just grips, and it's a lot of fun. Like, I can't say enough how impressive, and I always say hats off to BMW, but really it's the engineers specifically. Actually, it's more than the engineers, it's everyone, the whole design team. I gotta give a huge major shout out to, because the looks are on point, the handling is on point for an SUV. And today's the first time that I finally got it, and I'm pushing it through a little bit harder than I did when I first drove one of these, because I only had a short little time with it, but now I've got a little bit longer. And just the way that it moves around corners, it's great for an SUV. And I know people will probably say, oh, well, it actually is better than just that. But to me, I really don't feel like it inspires worlds amounts of confidence when in these corners. Is it horrible? No, but it does have that body roll feel, just enough that you are reminded that this is not a sports car. And to me, that's the reason why I didn't end up going with this. And I know some people would say, well, you're getting one car that can do everything, or one SAV, a sports activity vehicle, that can do everything. And I know, that's the best thing ever. But there is no one thing that can do everything great when it comes to vehicles. I would love for that to exist. I would love to say that, a wagon is the best of all worlds. Wagons have limitations. I would love to say the M3 is the best thing ever, because you're able to get in, get out, you can seat 4 adults, it's comfortable enough, it's roomy enough, it's athletic enough, it's fast enough. It is a lot of those things, but having something that's an SUV and a car all in one that does everything superb, fantastic, I'm sorry, we're just not quite there yet. And I know there are people that are looking at it and they're like, oh, but what about the Trackhawk? That's got to be it, LJ. That's got to be it. No, the Trackhawk can't handle corners. The Trackhawk is a big, burly SUV that's just strong. I wouldn't say it's athletically gifted, whereas this is nimble. and just so joyous to drive. Just second gear, roll into it to see what it feels like. We'll say this, it's that if you're looking for one of these and you do have a need for an SUV styled vehicle, then it makes a lot of sense. There's no complaints, no arguments there. But if you can have two cars, it might just be better to have two cars. I'm taking this through my favorite little wines, okay? And I'll show you guys this footage in a little bit from the other view. I'm just kind of giving this thing a feel, see what it can do. The little turns are a little strong. Problem is it's a little wider and bigger than the M3, so brakes are oh so sharp. So when it comes to braking in these corners, you're able to get a good bit of braking and you don't have to worry about that. Giving this, I'd say this is about 70%. This is not a track, and of course I'm on a back road in the middle of Illinois. You hear the exhaust crackle a little tiny bit. It's not the Toyota Supra, so it doesn't have the burbles, which some people love burbles. I like them, but I think they can be a little excessive at times. But I am impressed. I would say, as far as handling goes, I would give it a sharp 8 out of 10. And like I said, it's just getting used to the size of this. I drove this road with the M3 before. I've driven this road with the Elantra N's, the Honda Civic Type R's, and this is my own little Nürburgring. That's what I call it. It's nothing anywhere near like that, but just what this is missing is just what you would get out of a sports car. And if you're willing to make that compromise, I don't know what beats this. Like, yes, you can go get something bigger like the X3M, and that's great in its own. And yes, you can get something like a Trackhawk, and that's great in its own. But realistically, I would want something like this as my other car. It would be great. Just as far as replacing a sports car with it, though, I don't know if I can do that. Until I need car seats back there, this just doesn't make that much sense for me yet. But I love this. I wish that I was ballin' and had the funds to have this as my second car, because this or an X3M and the M3, my garage would be perfect. My garage would be everything that I would want, because when you do need to drive this through Tennessee and you do need to hit those back roads, this can do it. It will put a smile on your face and you won't be disappointed. You will not. If you're coming from something McLaren, Ferrari, Lamborghini, obviously you can't expect that out of this. Maybe one day BMW will really do that, but till then, unfortunately, no. And so in the short run, while we have cars like this, I am more than grateful and excited and happy that the X3M exists. And I know that if I was at a point in life where I would need some room to put car seats or a little bit more headroom back there than in the M3, this would give me everything that I am looking for. I would say that without a doubt. Then there's the whole aspect of comfort, and this does that just fine. Many reviewers have said that this is stiff, firm. Those things are true. If you're coming from a Cadillac Escalade with no sportiness whatsoever, and you like riding on a very comfortable air suspension type as found in the Grand Cherokees, yes, this is stiff in comparison. But compared to a normal car, a Honda Civic, a Toyota Corolla, this is a great suspension. This is very fine. But this is the road. This is what it looks like. So you can see that it does have just enough winds and turns. And I know this angle doesn't quite give it the justice that it deserves. But this is the driving road. I'm not pushing it this time around, but I just want to show you guys what it is that I've pushed this through and the winds, the turns, the back roads, and I am sticking by my 8 out of 10 handling. And do I think that this could be better? Maybe lowered? Yeah, probably. And like I said, for an SUV, I'm not mad at this. I am impressed beyond words as to how capable of an SUV, everyday car that this is. I think that it's capable in every way. Do I think that it outshines the rest of BMW's lineup? In ways it does. In ways it makes it hard for sedans to really compete when an SUV can give you the sportiness, the feel. The feel is one thing, though, that I will say is a very subjective term. And because of the xDrive system, which is amazing, by the way, BMW has one of the best all-wheel drive systems in the game, and I will stand by that. Yes, I'm a big, loyal BMW fan, if you can't tell. But unbiased/biased, I think that they are the best. Audi's system is obviously great as well. Heritage, all of that. Subaru, up there as well. Volvo even is up there. So I know that there are tough competitors when it comes to xDrive and all-wheel drive, but I will say BMW knows what they're doing there. But this is it. This is the road. This is my personal little Nürburgring. And it gets the job done for me, at least. I don't know. It gives me a chance to kind of see what these cars are capable of without, too much craziness. But that's it. But that's all I've got for you guys on the driving experience. I could sit here all day and talk about this in more finer details, but not everyone cares about that. Not everyone is really going to push this car. Not everyone's going to hit the mountains of Tennessee and see what this thing is capable of. But for those of us that do, like myself, and want to enjoy this, maybe on the road, not on a track, you found the right SUV. But if you're looking for a sports car replacement and you have no other choice, this is your answer. But if you have other choices and you can buy a cheap SUV and keep your sports car, I would say do that. But that's all I got. See you guys on the next one. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, any of those things, be sure to drop a comment, a like, a question, anything, and let me know what your thoughts are on the X3M. Until next time, guys, see you around, see you later, stay safe, stay healthy, all those good things, and see you on the next one.